The book of Titus, chapter 2, verse 7. In all things, showing thyself a pattern of good works, in doctrine, showing uncorruptness, gravity, sincerity. Before I get on with this video, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashim Shai, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. May Yahweh Bashim Shai's peace be bestowed unto you, hopefully elect. Your brother Yahweh call from the Great Millstone, Orlando. Just to report on some news, of course. There's a lot going on, as usual, which is why all the more staying on our P's and Q's, circumspect, sober-minded, as it says in verse 6, in Titus 2 and 6. Young men, likewise, exhort to be sober-minded. Because pretty much, man, everyone is playing games, and they're playing games against Yahweh Bashim Shai. Like Yahweh Bashim Shai is really not about to pull up and spin a block on these people. You know, so with that being said, again, to those of us in the know, having a serious mindset, all right, redeeming the times, you know, knowing that the days of evil are upon us. How should we be conducting ourselves out here? So again, man, a lot's going on. Things are about to ramp up. Just got a few videos, a pair of videos, and again, I'm just going to speak on a few things, man, because it's damn near impossible to do a video on each individual thing that's going on. So, you know, Lord willing, just through the Spirit, man, we're gonna get through this, to sound the alarm, blow the trumpet, to whom this may concern. So without further ado, let's lock you.
The White House has created an FBI-led joint mission center that's dedicated to proactively hunting Americans suspected of domestic terrorism. You want to know what that is? The budget request reveals anti-Americanism, anti-capitalism, anti-Christianity, support the overthrow of the United States government, extreme on migration, extremism on racism, extremism on gender, hostility towards those who traditional American views on family, hostility towards those who hold traditional American views on religion, and hostility towards those who hold traditional views on morality. Do I have your attention yet? Are you alarmed? This is what the budget request shows right here. Domestic terrorists who are motivated at a range of ideologies and galvanized by recent political and social events in the United States pose an elevated threat to the homeland. What in the COINTELPRO 3.0? Domestic terrorists exploit a variety of popular social media platforms, smaller websites with targeted audiences, and encrypted chat applications. They use these platforms to recruit new adherents, plan, and rally support for in-person reactions, and disseminate materials encouraging radicalization and mobilization to violence. Every accusation is a confession, and when they was accusing folks of going after them, that's what they were spewing up. In other words, if your political views are practically anything other than MAGA, you're on notice courtesy of the FBI. Education is elevation. Y'all stay vigilant out here. Me too, of course.
I think the time to ship bricks has come. FBI's new political pre-crime center list of domestic terrorism indicators. Let me show you the list right now. So basically, if you hold any of these in your political ideologies, you're on notice courtesy of the FBI. Anti-Americanism, anti-capitalism, anti-Christianity, support for the overthrow of the U.S. government, extremism on migration, race, gender, hostility towards those who hold traditional American views on family, religion, and morality. I got two things to say about this right here. Support for the overthrow of the U.S. government is in our Constitution. We are allowed to do so if we the people feel the need to. Okay? Traditional American views on family, men used to legally be able to beat the shit out of their women if they felt like it. What are you trying to say? This is the FBI budget request to Congress. It reads, Domestic terrorists who are motivated by a range of ideologies and galvanized by recent political and societal events in the U.S. pose an elevated threat to the homeland. What? Domestic terrorists exploit a variety of popular social media platforms, smaller websites with targeted audiences, and encrypted chat applications. They use these platforms to recruit new adherents, plan and rally support for in-person actions, and disseminate materials encouraging radicalization and mobilization of violence. What? In other words, if your political views are anything other than MAGA, you're on notice courtesy of the FBI. Does any of this ring a bell? This is fucking alarming. I just woke up and heard the FBI calling half of America domestic terrorists. Does that sound familiar at all?
So this was just released today, and this is extremely scary. Donald Trump has asked Congress to fund his domestic terrorism division. And the list that they release of what they're considering to be domestic terrorists is basically anyone and everyone who is against their political ideologies and their religious ideologies. So now, what are we going to do as Americans? How do we continue to allow for this type of administration to determine what we're allowed to say, how we're allowed to dress, what religion we're allowed to practice? This is a dictator. This is what dictators do. The American people need to wake up. It is no longer a game. Now they want to arrest us, prosecute us, imprison us for thinking different.
So, again, in Titus 2, I'm going to start at 6 again. Young men likewise exhort to be sober-minded. So, again, man, now more than ever, it's not the time to be caught out there with our parents below our knees, you know. Verse 7, in all things showing thyself a pattern of good works, because the accuser of the brethren, more and more Esau, he's making moves, he's closing in. It's a modern day sieging. All right. And Esau, he's closing in. All right. It says, in doctrine, showing uncorruptness, gravity, sincerity. So, hey, take this serious. Take everything serious. All right, have a serious mindset. You know, one thing that plays in my mind over and over when I went up north to the main camp and being able to fellowship with those brothers, elders. You know, Apostle Tahar, man. You know, of course. You know, Apostle Tahar, he's, you know, that stoicism, you know, he's a stoic, you know, but Apostle Tahar, on the same note, he cracks jokes, he talks shit, you know, he talks shit and things of that nature, you know. But one thing I peeped being around Apostle Gabar, he's very serious. While I was up there, I don't think I seen Apostle Gabar crack us, you know, the time that I was there. The time when I was around him, I didn't see him really crack any jokes or smile or anything. You know, Apostle Gabar, he's very serious. You know, it's very serious. You know, so that's one thing that replays in my mind, you know, in my head. You know, and something that I've noticed within myself. You know, just over the past few years, man, just because I've been more of a serious brother, just because I was pretty much kind of the class clown, so to say, you know, crack jokes, talk shit and whatnot. But just over the past few years, you know, because, you know, I just had to check myself, I'm just examining myself, you know, especially around brothers, younger brothers in the faith and whatnot. You know, how I conduct myself, you know, because I don't want to come off the wrong way, you know, offend a brother or anything like that. But just a part of my examining process. That's something that I've noticed. Just a bit more serious, a bit more quiet, you know, more observant, just more spiritual discernment and things of that nature. Because again, just understanding the times that we're in. You know, like I said, man, these people are playing too many games as if Yahweh Bashim Shai is not about to spin the block, as if he's not about to pull up. So Esau, he's definitely getting ready to make moves, right? I got this article here. I'm not going to read it. I'm going to just read the title. And it says, Trump summons bank leaders over terrifying new threat to global financial system. So just one of those things that make you go, makes you raise your eyebrow. You know, why is Trump summoning these bank leaders